The East African Securities Exchanges have launched a top 20 index to attract investor participation.
And that is the launch of the East African Exchanges 20 Share Index. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
The exchanges plays a vital role within the country's capital market, providing a platform for companies to raise capital, investors to buy and sell securities, and governments to implement economic policies. Within the East African communities, stock exchanges serve as a major contributor to economic growth, financial inclusion, regional integration, and lead to infrastructure development, with its growth valued at $40 billion and 8 million investor participation across all regions. The East African Securities Exchange Association has faced numerous challenges that have hindered its growth, including but not limited to foreign investor sell-off, currency fluctuations, limited retail participation, regulatory challenges, and fragmentation. This is the reason the association held the East African Capital Markets Conference to address some of the recurring challenges.
Changes would like to see. So in the market, we still have a lot of companies issuing checks in terms of dividends. And we found that with the development in technology and changes, we need to phase that out so that investors can access their dividends and their cash through their mobile phones or other channels, because the cost of issuing checks can be quite expensive for many of the issuers. And this is something they've raised and would like us to see that amended. So we're going to collaborate across the markets within the exchanges and with the different regulators to ensure that we align in terms of that regional decision.
Regional blocks, economic blocks. There's an economic bloc in West Africa, in Southern Africa, that is COSE or SADC region. And then we have also the Arab community and the others. So it brings us together as a continent. And like I said earlier, the regional blocks, we work together on different projects that bring us together and make us stronger.
I can tell you here in Uganda right now, you are in a political mood. For us in Nairobi, for example, we are in economic mood. So when you invest in that basket, you're able to align your portfolio depending on your risk appetite, as it were, to ensure that it is working.
Depository have to be in an environment that able to give robust technology, so that all the things that we are looking at in East Africa can be able to happen.
However, this cannot be fulfilled without the intervention of the regulator at Capital Markets Authority.
Each of our markets are quite small, and therefore, if we want to have the impact globally, this is the time for us to integrate and to merge. Because if we are looked at as one market, as East Africa as one market, it makes a lot of sense, even for sophisticated investors out there, and be able to attract the capital that will help us to try to develop our region.
According to Paul Bwiso, Chief Executive Officer at Uganda Securities Exchange, their main target is to increase the size from $40 billion to $100 billion.
And our intention is to grow that to $100 billion by 2030. The number of investors currently average at about 8 million across the region. And we believe that with the financial inclusion and the technology, we should be able to grow these numbers to the 50 million by 2030. It's an ambitious number, but we believe that technology can drive this, especially with the new products we are planning to introduce.
Furthermore, enhanced growth and development within the community, the association launched the East African Exchange Index to enable investor participation and exposure.
We have launched an East African Exchange Index. That index is going to transform into an exchange traded fund, so that investors can be able to get a basket of that fund and get exposure to the region, because all the 5 big companies across our region are represented in that basket. That is very, very important for us.
This index identifies the top performing companies within the region, in terms of market capitalization, the dividends they pay, but also how well they are performing in terms of the pricing on the markets. Each country selects the top 5 companies, and we've been tracking this index from 2nd of April this year, where we created a track record. And what we're able to do today was to launch that index.
Serena Naguja for NSTV.
And that is the launch of the East African Exchanges 20 share index. Thank you so much, ladies.